Hi, as a mom, I know that there is no greater blessing in this life than our children. And I also understand the types of challenges that women face during their pregnancy journeys and while raising their kids. This week, I'm introducing the Moms Act in the Senate. The Moms Act stands for More Opportunities for Moms to Succeed. This legislation would provide critical support to women during typically challenging phases of motherhood. That includes the prenatal, postpartum, and early childhood development stages. To all of my fellow moms out there, my goal is to give you and your children the opportunities to thrive and to live your American dreams. I'll continue to fight to advance a comprehensive culture of life, to empower parents and to grow opportunities for hard-working families so that every child across our nation can reach their God-given potential and every woman can thrive.
Okay, so coming out of that, a few things are clear. First of all, that is evidently actually how she acts. It was not a one-time thing, nerves over the State of the Union. She's that weird and that creepy. Her smile is gonna haunt my nightmares. But anyway, also you can go too schmaltzy with the music in your ad, evidently. They went way past the line that I would have drawn it at.
Yeah,
I felt like they were trying to get me to donate to adopt like a puppy or something. But
I thought she was gonna start telling him about her explosive diarrhea, because that's usually how it starts. Is just like when I have
like bring out like a
diarrhea.
Yogurt or something.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that's clear is I don't trust her at all on this topic, because many people are saying that Mom's actually talking about is laying the groundwork to have effectively a government database of people's reproductive status. Having, by the way, some sort of comprehensive thing that provides resources to moms both before and after birth sounds like a great idea. And do you really think that that's gonna be what she puts forward? Unfortunately, as we're gonna describe, she's going to directly undercut it in multiple ways to provide not what moms need, but what right-wingers who wants to control moms, what they need. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the Damage Report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you. And so she's gonna establish an online government database called pregnancy.gov, listing resources related to pregnancy, okay, including information about adoption agencies and pregnancy care providers, except for those that provide abortion-related services. So kind of a massive part of being pregnant is that decision of whether you want to have a child or not for the sorts of moms she gives a damn about. You can screw off with all that. And not only is she not going to provide information about abortion on this thing, but if you're a provider that does all of the great stuff that she wants, but you also care about whether people wanted to have the child, you don't count. And all of the good that you could do to all these moms doesn't count. It's not gonna be on the thing. It also, by the way, has effectively a listing of crisis pregnancy centers. So
of course it
centers you can go to lie to you about a variety of things having to do with pregnancies. Those will now get a huge signal boost by the federal government, thanks to Katie Britt, so that would be awesome. Okay. It also, by the way, directs users to enter their personal data and contact information. Now, her communications director says that the site would not collect data on pregnant people, okay? Although page 3 of the bill states that users can take an assessment through the website and provide consent to use the user's contact information, which government officials may use to conduct outreach via phone or email to follow up with the users on additional resources that would be helpful for the users to review. It would also provide basically a one-stop point of contact for gathering information about people who are doing searches around this. You're not necessarily gonna put everything about your pregnancy in there, but if you're going in there, that is evidence that you might be pregnant that could potentially be used. And I just think it's amazing when they have been so opposed to tracking things like gun ownership and things like that. But now they're setting up to potentially track stuff having to do with your pregnancy. And bear in mind, they want to control a whole lot of stuff about your pregnancy. How much information do you feel comfortable giving them is the question I have for you. And for you, Francesca.
There's so many things that are creepy about this legislation, but it is important to state that there's already assistance for mothers out there from the federal government, pregnant mothers and mothers who've recently given birth. It's called Medicaid, okay? It helps poor and low income moms and poor and low income children. It gives them health care. It allows them time off. It is massively important. I mean, we could even have even more than that, right? There's also WIC, which is the Women and Infants and Children Nutritional Program, WIC, that is being defunded by Republicans right now. So if you really care about children, just expand the programs that already exist. But Republicans are cutting and slashing WIC. That was, remember, they couldn't figure out where to cut because they already pledged to Joe Biden during the State of the Union that they weren't going to cut Social Security. So they're like, let's cut WIC and food stamps. Oh, perfect, right? And then Medicaid, Alabama, which is the state that Katie's from, still hasn't expanded Medicaid, which, by the way, is 90% paid for by the federal government, but red states have not opted in because it's Obamacare, and so they hate it, and they're still holding out against it. Alabama's weighing whether to expand Medicaid right now. But the last thing is, abortion is healthcare, and we know that because of all the women who are pregnant by choice and want to be pregnant, who've been bleeding out in parking lots and turned away from hospitals because they needed an emergency abortion to save their life because their pregnancy was not going well. In fact, it ended early. So part of all of healthcare and women's reproductive care is helping them get abortions. And the fact that we're separating them, whether for religious reasons, whether for, hey, we want to control women's bodies reasons, is actually leading to the death of women and children. I may have misstated that Medicaid gives you time off, but it should.
100%. Well, yeah, I mean, I would love for Katie Britt to care about moms and be an advocate for that. I will say that while this program, were it to become law, would be nowhere near as good as it could be if it was headed by someone who actually cared about the experience of moms and not just about controlling what information they have access to, I will at least give her credit on this. I have literally for years been saying the pro-life movement does not put 5 seconds of effort into making their claim to be pro-life seem substantive.
No.
They focus on stopping people from having abortion, and then that's it. They don't give a damn about what happens. She's at least pretending. Yep. She's implying that we care about what happens after you give birth. And for someone who's as bad at the PR side of politics when it comes to her face and everything, she seems to understand the politics. She can't act, but she can at least act like she cares about moms until you do a little bit of digging. So I do think that she deserves at least a little bit of political credit in that.
A little bit, but it is the only difference between this and programs that exist or doing something like paid family leave for all, new parents is the tracking. All she wants to do is probably work with a massive lobby of crisis pregnancy centers, which basically, again, systematically lie to pregnant people about abortion, in order to track pregnancies and to go after anyone whose pregnancy ended either by choice or because they miscarried. I mean, we are not far off from other countries. I went to El Salvador to study this, where women are in jail for 30 years because they had a miscarriage and are being accused of having an abortion. Yeah. So it is massive government intervention when we already have programs that do good things for people who want to be parents right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read a press release, but like I look at the press release, and I just think, like, follow-up question: Should moms get to take time off? No, they shouldn't. No. I think that we're done with this whole thing. Like, stop cosplaying. Seriously.
They should get back to work. They're lazy. Oh, and if they don't get back to work, then they don't get on Medicaid. People are being thrown off their health care. New moms are being thrown off their health care because they have to they're earning a little bit too much money, right? I mean, it's just wild. Like the chutes and ladders of our healthcare system, of the Medicaid system, is just bonkers, and it includes not expanding it to helping more and more people.
There's you mentioned, in terms of democracy, like that the system is not set up with the checks and balances necessary to stop like the fascists from taking over. And that it is amazing to me that you can be willing to oppose 1 week of guaranteed leave and pay almost no political penalty for that. because the infrastructure isn't there to make you pay that penalty. Or the alternative world infrastructure has convinced enough Republicans that they themselves do not deserve leave.
Yeah.
They've internalized that when they give birth, they should not get a single day off.
That they should just be rich.
They should have really been born rich.
Yeah.
They should have been born into like a real estate family, I think. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.